All right, let's jump right in. We've all been there, right? You've got this brilliant plan, this perfect blueprint for a big transformation. But the real trick, the thing that separates the wins from the losses, is actually bringing that blueprint to life. Today, we're going to talk about the system that does exactly that. So let's start with the big question, one I'm sure we've all wrestled with. Why is it that even our most thought out, detailed plans seem to just fall apart the second they hit the real world? And here's the answer, and it's simpler than you might think. A blueprint is just a drawing. It's a static picture of what you hope will happen. It can't move, it can't adapt, it doesn't actually do anything on its own. To build something real, you don't just need a drawing, you need an engine. And that brings us to the heart of our discussion today, how to build that engine. An engine of accountability that takes that static plan off the page and drives it forward, giving it energy and a real rhythm. That engine? It's called governance. But hang on, before you tune out, let's completely forget the old, stuffy, bureaucratic idea of that word. Think of this kind of governance as your transformation's operating system. It's the active, intelligent software that's running in the background, powering every single decision and keeping track of performance in real time. Yeah, this slide really just flips the whole script on what governance usually means to people. On one hand, you have the old way, which feels like bureaucracy, right? It's slow, political, and based on gut feelings. But integrated governance, it's the total opposite. It actually creates speed because it forces you into data-driven conversations. It's not a roadblock, it's the fast lane. So you might be wondering, how does this engine actually run? Well, it's got three core functions. First, there's a structured cadence, a predictable rhythm of meetings that everyone can count on. Second, crystal clear accountability. Everybody knows exactly what they're responsible for. And third, data-driven thresholds. These are basically tripwires that tell you when something's wrong. No guessing involved. And this is a perfect example of that third point. Just imagine having a simple rule. If any key metric goes off track by more than, say, 10%, it automatically gets flagged and escalated. No debate, no hurt feelings, the data makes the call. It keeps the whole process honest and proactive. So let's talk more about that rhythm, that structured cadence we mentioned. It's literally the heartbeat of the governance engine. It creates a steady, predictable pulse that the entire organization can actually sync up to. And the most important beat in that whole rhythm is this meeting right here, the Integrated Business Review, or IBR for short. This is the main event, the central forum where everything and everyone comes together, usually once a month. And who's actually in the room? Well, this is the crucial part. It's not a bunch of separate teams giving their own little updates. You've got the strategy folks, the transformation office, and the operations leaders all there together, looking at the exact same data, having one single unified conversation. That integration? Well, that's the secret sauce. The agenda itself is actually pretty brilliant. It connects the past, the present, and the future into one seamless story. You start by looking back. How do we do against our forecast? Then you look at right now. Did the work we just finished actually move the needle? And finally, you use all of that to look ahead. Are we on track to hit our future goals? It's a perfect feedback loop. Now, having a system like this naturally leads to what I think is governance's most important job, managing risk before it turns into failure. This isn't just about tracking what's going right, it's about seeing trouble coming from a mile away. I want to pause on this quote for just a second because it is so important. Problems in complex initiatives are inevitable, failure is not. The system assumes things will go wrong. It's built for it. Its whole purpose is to make sure that when problems pop up, they don't turn into total disasters. And that brings us to the core truth here. Failure isn't really caused by the problem itself. It's caused by a lack of visibility. It happens when the right people, the ones who can actually fix things, don't see the problem in time. This entire governance cadence is designed to solve that one fundamental issue. And here's how it does it. With different meetings for different kinds of risk. You've got your weekly stand-ups that handle the on-the-ground, day-to-day delivery risks. Then the monthly IBRs we just talked about. They manage the integration risks between teams. And finally, you have the quarterly business reviews, the QBRs, where senior leadership tackles the really big strategic risks. Okay, so that system is already incredibly powerful, but what if we could give it a serious upgrade? This is where things get really exciting.
When you bring generative AI into this, you can supercharge the whole engine, especially those high-level quarterly reviews.
So picture this. A leader is in a QBR. Instead of having to spend hours digging through spreadsheets, they can just ask the system a question, plain as day. Something like, hey, our project approvals metric is lagging. Tell me why.
And boom, instantly the AI traces the problem through the data. It connects that top-level metric all the way down to the specific initiative and even to the single delayed task that's causing the bottleneck. We're talking root cause analysis in seconds, not weeks. But it gets even better. You can actually move from just diagnosing problems to predicting the future. A leader could ask a strategic what-if question. Okay, what happens if we pull people off other projects to speed up this launch? Show me the risk. And the AI can run a real-time simulation showing the ripple effects across the entire portfolio. This is no longer just about reviewing the past. You are actively stress testing the future and making smarter strategic decisions on the fly. It is a total game changer. All right, let's wrap this up with the key things to remember. First, good governance isn't bureaucracy. It's the operating system that drives accountability. Second, it runs on a structured rhythm of weekly, monthly, and quarterly reviews. Third, its number one job is to make risks visible early. And finally, this whole system gets turbocharged with real-time data and AI-powered insights. And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about for your own organization. Take a good, hard look at how you operate. Is your governance a set of static rules that just slows everyone down? Or is it a dynamic, integrated engine that's actually driving you forward?